Hello there. I did the thing again where I pushed the button before I was really ready. So, am I shorter or is the camera? Hi, it's me, Scott. I hope everyone is doing okay. Trying to stay safe and well. I know things are difficult out there, but just look out for yourself and for the people around you, I guess. It's hard. It's hard stuff. So, we are today... I'm going to shake the camera a whole bunch. Sorry. We are today going to remember to do this. Sorry, one moment, please. Okay, that was a long delay. I apologize. Hello, it's me, Scott, and still in Pittsburgh, still working on stuff. There's going to be some schedule changes. They're unfortunately kind of unavoidable about how the residency is going to go, and maybe I'll know more about that later this week. But for now, I'm just trying to move forward on things. It's tough. The world is in a difficult place, but just trying to move forward. So let's go over here. And let's do this. And let's find some wallpaper. A very upset child. A less upset person. Nice boats. Whoa. Teleporting sailboats. Geese? Gooses? That's nice. Let's go with that. So I continue to be fixated on radial things. I still have not exactly figured out how to express that radial thing fixation. You know, I'm sure I'm drawn to, like, in Procreate, the Radial drawing tool, and that site we looked at, MyOuts, and those are just fun. Like, some part of me just wants to make that at a big scale. But I don't want to make... I mean, it's a weird thing, because there is prior art, but it's very spread out. Like, I feel like I've seen Radial drawing stuff for... I don't even know what the first one was. I feel like it's been 8 years or something when I first was looking at generative drawing stuff and even started writing a generative drawing tool. But, so I wouldn't feel like, oh, I'm just ripping off MyOuts or Procreate or whatever, but it is a thing that exists in the world. And it is a thing that is, at least in those instances, a screen-based interaction. And so even if I do something like that, like a radial drawing tool, I would want something about it to give you some more of a physical interplay with the system. So I don't have a great answer for that, and I thought I would just do some experiments. And one thing that comes to mind, and I don't think it is the right answer, but it's an idea, is I was imagining a Etch-A-Sketch based on polar coordinates. And it might be a terrible idea. But I got some knobs down there. I've got a couple of potentiometers. And I have an Arduino over there. So, you know, we could like make a weird radial Etch-A-Sketch. I don't know. I'm imagining something like that. I'm also imagining that the system itself has some animation and movement built into it. So, just trying to figure stuff out. So, if we were thinking... So, okay, a couple things, though. One thing we did determine... Whoa. No sound? You can't hear me? Jacqueline, look at you. 23-month streak. Wait, is there really no sound in the stream? I hear the stream. Now I'm confused. Is there any audio? Am I too quiet? Am I too loud? Are you too quiet? Are you too loud? I did. I thought... Oh, right. You have no audio on purpose. I was confused. I thought you were telling me that I was getting old. And yeah, okay, I get it. Dracklin's lurking and confusing me. Okay, anyway, what was I saying? We were gonna try, yeah, I don't know. Maybe this isn't good, but just imagining some very simple tactile ways to interact with the thing with a bunch of other people. Because then you could imagine a screen. In fact, I have some questions about that. What I've been meaning to figure out. People gathered around some kind of large display, and then there's some kind of input devices around that. And that's how you all work together to make your radial drawing. So here's a problem though. As we looked before, square displays are just not a thing, and round displays are not really a thing. And by the looks of this, I'm not gonna like what the results are. What I was imagining, oh yeah, gosh, it's awful. Like even if you just wanted to say, oh, I'm just gonna use a circular portion out of a screen, you have so much additional screen to deal with. Like if you truly wanted it to be like, oh, I have a round, there's a round thing here, and pretend that there was no rectangular thing. It ends up looking like that. Which is not the worst. I mean, I wonder what the dimensions would be on something like that. So if, for example, how can we make this something that is kind of to scale? Well, we would just know, right? If this, say this is a 50-inch TV. 50-inch TV. And then this was 3, so it was sort of like a 3, 4. Okay, so let's do that instead. So width would be 40, height would be 30. No, that was definitely not what I meant to do. Well, that's certainly not right. That's a 4x3 display, obviously. Wait, if the diagonal... Okay, my brain's not really, not really doing this correctly. So if it was 55, a 55-inch display, let's just look it up. I mean, we could work it backwards, knowing the ratio and knowing all the angles, of course, but it might be easier to just look it up, because that's where my brain is. Brain is not fully functional today. These are all the specs. Spec sheet. Oh, it's tiny. That's very tiny. Is there no indication of the actual screen dimensions though? Because that would be Nice. Not the... Well, you tell me the bezel. And you give this in inches, but this in millimeters? So that'd be a 32. So 55. Let's just call it this. 484 by 278. 484, 278. So this is a 50-inch diagonal TV. This is a little more than 2 feet here. So that means that this radius, oh really this radius would be 2, if it was perfect. If it was a perfect world, it would be 278, 278, right? And then how do we find them? This is a weird one. Like this, what's the word? Circumscribed? Like finding this. Yeah, it's not great, right? Like, well, that's weird. You would think that would be whatever the diagonal is. But I guess it's the diagonal of the whole thing. Package meaning box here. Pythagorean calculator. What did I say? 484, 278? Yeah. 5.8. So, and again, these aren't real numbers because you'd need some wiggle room, probably. So it'd be something like that. And then that means that this, it's whatever the number we just had. So basically 28 inches total. So these end up being about 14 inches. Now that's a lot. That's a big, it's a big bezel. It's a really big border to have. And I'm not really into it. But I don't have another solution. I mean, if we want, I mean, other than just maybe this shouldn't be, I'm so indecisive on this project. It's kind of driving me crazy. If this, that's assuming that the best option is a television in the middle of this. And that's just the way the world works right now. So if you want something like a high resolution display of a certain size and you don't want it to be $1 trillion, it kind of needs to be 16:9. Unless you're projecting, of course, but that's a whole thing. That's a whole other thing. And I think we've decided that this space doesn't work with projection. So, it's not great. It's really not great. like 14 inches between you and the screen. You just wouldn't really be able to feel like you're over the top of the screen, you know? Unless the screen were really recessed, like low, and so you could kind of lean over and look down. An alternative that I don't like, probably, but is an alternative, would be to say that we acknowledge the difficulties of the situation, and we say, in fact, what were the 32-inch TVs? Say there's two 32, so 284 by 165. So I could imagine $284. Is that what I said? No, that's the big side. Maybe 330 by 330. Oh, that's not good. That's the 284 side. It could be something like this. And then you'd have two displays, and then you'd want to cover that, which is not great, but it gives you roughly the same amount of screen real estate. In fact, with these two particular displays, your screen real estate's a little bigger. Is that true? That's 284. That's 278. So very close. Very slightly bigger, but not much bigger at all. But the bezel is dramatically smaller. So you get the same amount of screen real estate, but you have a dramatically smaller bezel. But the trade-off is you have a big dividing line in the middle. And probably, maybe not, but probably you want to dress that line so it doesn't just look like it's two TVs. Like you want to actually put a, whatever it is, half-inch. What is that number? I already forgot. It was the 165. And this would be like 0.5. What? Wait, did I do all this incorrectly? No, because this was determined not by that. It was the 284. Yeah, okay. It was 284 by 1/2 inch. That's not what I meant to do at all, is it? One more time. We got it. So end up with that. And it is a much more comfortable looking bezel, I would say. I mean, we kind of estimated this, right? We could do the same thing. 284 and 370. I lost my Pythagorean calculator. 370. Solve. I mean, and again, none of these numbers would be Well, that's just wrong. So where did I screw up? Oh, it's not 370. It's 350. I screwed up at the math part, the part where I was supposed to do math properly. Yeah, so it ended up, it's still wrong. How am I still wrong? This is 165. Oh, good grief. Yeah, let's do it. It's 320, so it's 330. How many times can I get that wrong? 3, apparently, is the answer. Okay. So that makes this 43 inches. It's this 435/38 minus 284. So that's 15.1. So this divided by 2 and then divided by 10 would be. So that's only a 7-inch bezel. So it's really half the bezel. If you do two TVs, so you get a slightly bigger. It's just not great. It's not great if you want to try to do any odd numbered. If you wanted to do radial symmetry that was odd numbered, it wouldn't be great. You'd always have this awkward division. Any even number would be okay. In fact, maybe even not even very obtrusive. If this was, say this bar is black and there's always a black space between the designs, then I kind of don't want the designs on black. I kind of want them on a more neutral color, but it's tricky. It's tricky stuff. This is definitely close enough that you could get your hands in and get your hands on things, I think. Because this is... that whole radius... would be like 21 inches, less than 2 feet. If it's a thing that you touch. So you could have radial symmetry, you could have bilateral symmetry, you know, you do 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever. And maybe not be too annoyed by the division in the middle. I had ideas though that it would animate or rotate or whatever, which would not be great with that big blank spot. But whoa. Okay, so we were going to design something for this screen. I'm sleepy today, I apologize. I could see designing for either of these, for sure. It's just this one, the bigger the screen, so this is a 55-inch screen. 2 55-inch screens would be kind of crazy, but you could do it. So what's this whole radius? This whole radius is under 4 feet. And And this whole radius is very close. This one is like around 3.5 feet. And this one is around 4.5 feet. Okay, but just knowing, obviously, we can pick some different TVs. We got 42-inch TVs, whatever. This is a form factor I like more. And it gives you some room to mount some controls here if you did want to mount controls. I mean, really, if the TVs were recessed a little bit, you could mount something all the way around. So, why are you yawning like crazy? I apologize. So, think about ways to engage with this from the edge. Like, there's certainly some... This thing's making noise again. Unplugged. There's certainly some appeal to saying like, well, if I approach it from here, then something about the angle from which I approach it is relevant. Like if I'm doing something here, I don't know. Like if I'm here, do I have access to the whole form? I have no idea what's going on with this yawning. I think I've stressed myself out to the point of just needing a nap, maybe? Okay, so. Like you could imagine, say for example, this Etch-A-Sketch nonsense. You could imagine that working like this. With some dials on either side. They could also be arcade balls where you had both axes in one. Something kind of funny and kind of appealing about those arcade balls, just because they are radial. They're fundamentally radial input devices. Same thing for the dials, but the dials probably give you more independent control. So what would that actually be like, and how can I easily test it? So one idea actually is that you just lean into this and you say like, if this thing has to be here, then this thing has to be here. And you just actually have physical divisions on the screen, and you just say this thing is oct, whatever that is. There's a word for This is like octolateral symmetry. I don't know. It's a real word, right? Symmetry in biology. Fourfold radial. Subtypes of radial. Pentamerism. Pentamerism. Pentamerous is adults. That's interesting. They start bilaterian. Hexamerism. Octamerism. So I could see hexamerism or octamerism. There is still the idea of the computer vision version where there's like a camera pointed down at this also. And you're just putting objects in these little slices and then seeing the objects. Yeah, I kind of think if you do the divide, you just say that it's going to be divided forever. Like that, where it's just sort of okay. So what does that mean? If we were gonna draw her that way, how would we draw her? We already figured out we have a like buffer problem with the way I would normally do things in Universal Render Pipeline. Maybe that's just my fault. Maybe we could solve it with a double buffer. Like, how do you use this? Good question, Unity post. What is a custom render texture? Custom render textures are an extension to render textures, enabling you to render directly to the texture using a shader. Custom render textures are an extension to render textures, allowing you to easily update the texture with a shader and then use it in a regular material. This is useful for implementing all kinds of complex simulations, water caustics, etc., 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 etc. How does it work? Is there an example? How does it work? I've just never used it before. Custom render textures. Create a new custom render texture asset and assign a material to it. This material will then update the content of the texture according to its various parameters. You call update. Interesting. So what actually goes in though? Like how do you... What if I don't want to clear it? That's my whole thing, right? Source, texture, and color. But if it's like a double... Is that the point of the double buffer would be sending it back to itself? Read the result of the last update while writing. Content already written to the texture but cannot mix the values. This feels annoying. It feels like there should be a better way to do this. Right? Well, because there's also this. We just copy. But how do you blend? Like if you wanted to copy a thing you were drawing. I'm positive I've done this stuff before of like draw to a texture and this draws a texture and coordinates. No, not you. This is real old. I feel like I've done it in this way a long time ago. How does this person do it? Great. Yeah, that's like actually messing with the... I feel like I'm missing some very obvious way to do this. Right? Like, it doesn't seem that way. Maybe I just won't care right now, and we'll just instantiate sprites like we did with the last thing. So that'd be better anyway in some ways, because then it could be alive, but it's just kind of frustrating me that I can't remember how I've done this in the past. And maybe the way I did it in the past just doesn't actually work with Universal Render Pipeline for some reason. I think actually that's partially true. Like the not clearing thing, I feel like I've absolutely done that in the past. Okay, so we would want what? Maybe just some weird thing where we map XY mouse to polar to start with. So first we want to know that there's some kind of like some kind of threshold we have to cross before we decide to update. And then if it is if that's down, and at the end of it, we will reset to whatever the mouse position was. Input, get mouse button down. And then we want like if vector3 dot distance between is greater than threshold. Draw. Draw. Draw it. Okay. Nothing's gonna happen. It's just gonna log if it seems vaguely correct. So let's see if it even seems vaguely correct. So I press that, we get a draw, and then nothing happens, but then as I start to move, so that threshold's way too big, but kind of makes sense. So now we need to do the thing that's like screen point to world point. I always forget exactly how to do this part. Don't care about the eye. Something like this, something like this, something like this, threshold, yeah, you can be way smaller. We'll say 1. I don't know quite know what that means. I'm not exactly sure what the units at play are here, but whatever, we'll say 5 for now, we can tweak it. We have a brush prefab, and then we want to instantiate brush prefab at world position with a rotation of quaternion identity. So let's make a little brushy guy. Wrong thing, did the wrong thing. Yes, okay. You. How about a nice hexagon? And I almost certainly did something wrong, but let's just see. Okay, so we can draw. That's with a threshold of 10. Be 100? No. What's my problem? No, we don't. Only a screen position. Maybe that was my problem. Okay. We can draw. Right. These are very large. Draw little hexagons everywhere. Those are too small. Okay, so now kind of what we want to do though is we want to, so we have a world position. Yeah, this is pretty weird. So we want to do this. Oh, pardon me. Okay, let's just try it like... Let's just try it with the draw and get like a angel. Float angel and a float radius. And we need some Cartesian to polar. And I don't remember how. Somebody just show me the formula. Is there an ATN2? There is. This is not what we want to do. Wait. We're going to say that now this is funny. We want to a weird one. Float angle and float radius. And we'll need another remap for the trillionth time. A float value, a float in min, float in max, float out, float out min, float out max. Float normalized value equals value minus n min divided by n max minus n min. Return normalized value times in out max minus out min plus out min. Min? We want to remap the angle will be input.mouse to position X out of screen dot what? And we want to remap that from, well, alternatively, I guess we do it like this. I just want to use the function we just wrote. From 0 to screen width, remap that from 0 to 360. And radius would be a remap from Y, screen height, from 0 to 1. Something like that. And then if that's true, actually aren't even going to do this stuff. We don't need any of the screen stuff because we're just off in our little world here. Because then it is vector to position equals new vector 2 with cosine of angle times radius math f dot sine angle And radius is U. Last position will be equal to position. If there's a good distance between you two, then we're happy. I draw a thing there. I don't know if I did this correctly. Almost certainly screwed something up. Probably screwed up multiple things, but let's just see. Ah, yes. Excellent. Excellent work. Okay, let's expose this. Both of them, in fact, just so we can see them. See how poorly I've done. Oh, maybe this wants radians also, by the way. But let's ignore that for the moment. I should also expose radius and angle, now that I think about it. Well, this will never be true also because they're very, very, very tiny, but that's our main problem. But let's do this also. So X should be, I can go negative. Whoops. Didn't mean to, but that's okay. And then radius would be 0 up to 0 to 1, so that's fine. So we could clamp these. That's okay. Let's just ignore the threshold for now and just make a new thing every single frame and maybe set the computer on fire just to see if these are where we want them to be. Really, this should probably be an orthographic camera that's 0.5, size of 0.5, because then the radius is 1 unit. Beautiful work. Now we're very close. And even this is probably going to be too big. Our circle. Why is X is angle? Why should be radius? So why? We're also seeing numbers off to the side over there. They're still too big. These are probably too small, but whatever. I don't really understand that. Why y would be off but not x? Oh, because the camera's moved. That would fully explain that. That would 100% explain it. Okay, these must be radians then. Hi. Pretty weird. It was real weird. Okay, so we have like our real position. Well, then we could have like a position B and a position C. And then what we have to do is modify our angle. So in this case, we'd add 90 degrees, so plus half a pi. Good grief. Math f dot pi times 0.5f. So we want to add like half a pi and a half, and a whole pi in the middle. Something like this. There's gonna be a lot of dots. This is for, I forgot what it was. Four-sided symmetry. Well, two of them seem kind of okay, and two of them seem very broken. So we want to add half a pi, a whole pi. Oh, we have to, of course, let's do that to the sine and the cosine. In fact, maybe we just do this. Add half a pi every time. Half a pi here, half a pi there. Okay. We probably want our friends... Probably want them to do kind of what the ripple did. How did ripples work? No, it was you? Oh gosh, I don't know what anything was called anymore. What was the thing we were working on last time? It wasn't in this project. Okay, that's fine. Can I do that up here? I just want to say if... We'll make this better later, but... Just kill him after 5 seconds. Maybe not. We'll just do this down here too. Just to... Fun. Oh yeah, we decided we wanted to call this interpolant, or T for time, but I'm just gonna say interpolant until one day I decide not to say interpolant anymore. Probably messed that up somehow. Okay, it's much too long. Probably more like 2. Let's start a little bigger. Okay, well, I just stared at that a long time, so that's pretty good. You know what sucks about pie? When you want to think about slices of pie, like pie doesn't make up a whole pie. Pie is really only half a pie, like half a pie. PI is only half of a PIE. It's only 180 degrees. Kind of like not happy with that math. It makes the universe feel like it's not in order. It makes the universe feel, I don't know, a little broken in some ways. Okay, let's continue doing this in a bad way. We'll do pi divided by 3. I'll add 2 more of these. And of course we could write this as a loop. That would make way more sense, but we're not gonna right now. Just wanna get hexagonal over here. So this definitely doesn't lend itself well to the divided up version, I think. Like if we made a, excuse me. Good heavens. Okay, I'm gonna just fall asleep in my chair here. If we made like a, you know, even just a cube. So if we had 1 cube and it was 90. Am I wrong? No, it's gonna be on Z. A 90-degree cube, a 30-degree cube, and a negative 30-degree cube. Is that right? That give us hexamerismal. I forgot what it was called. Yeah, that's what it would be like to have the built-in dividers. It's not like the most offensive thing I've ever seen in my life, but I don't really like it. And I don't know how skinny you could reasonably get them. It really depends on what the bezel thickness and all that business. It'd be kind of interesting if you were controlling, say I'm controlling these three and another person on the other side is controlling the other three. So we really have like trimerism, whatever threefold radial symmetry would be. Sure don't like the dividers. Okay. A lot of things I don't like. Actually, I don't like the... Can I not make it a circle after it already exists? Definitely a pretty satisfying little thing, for sure. I think we want to do this, though. Not that. Bruce. And this would be a universal pipeline unlit. And it would have a material that was the default particle. And it would be somewhere like this. And it would be something like this. And it would be transparent. And it would be additive. That's the wrong thing. It would be additive. And then we would do this. And then we would do this. And I forgot to put the brush thing on it. And by brush thing, I mean brush script. Or whatever it was called, brush dot. Okay, brush dot. So what if every other one of these was like 1 minus the radius? Just sort of want to see what it would look like. I mean, this isn't going to be a very accurate representation of it, but just what it would look like if two people were doing it. And each person had 3 slices. It looks insane. I don't think I did that correctly. What? So just negative radius? One minus radius seems like it should invert. So really that's more like getting the mirroring within one slice. So you'd almost want this anyway, but it's not what I was trying to do. Okay, well. What if we just did this? Just for now. And this just goes from 0 to... Probably the noise go from 0 in Unity, -1 to 1, or 0 to 1. 0 to 1, right? Yeah, 0 to 1. This is going to go from 0 to 1, 0 to 1. There's no reason to do this, but... Oh, wow. I broke it. Oh, because I said if the mouse pointer's down. Why don't we just hold the mouse pointer down? I want to just draw this exact same thing again, but 180. Very cool. This is way faster. It's probably too fast. It's a little too fast, I'll say. So, I'm slouching. I'm slouching away. Just so they're not doing the same thing. You set the parent when you do this? I don't think so. Stick them all inside of this thing and then rotate this thing? Maybe? It'd be better actually if they... I feel like we want the rotation, the angle to be slower. And we want the radius to maybe go out to more like 1.5. Or something like that. 1.5 is a little too much. Well, it can't be more than radius 1 if you want to fit in there, right? Is that actually true? Just means we always have. I think that is true. Kind of pretty. Speaking of pretty, that was the wrong. Don't read that. What are you doing? Quit that. Well, that's kind of cool. Can you HDR this camera? Oh, it's not a camera setting, it's a pipeline setting. It's funny, it's really just like at the points where the noise reverses, you get some nice sparkles. Make this a little bigger. What if I do this? It's insane, but kind of cool. Bit much. It's a little bit much. I kind of want more. Kind of want more of these. Like I kind of want to do for every angle. The positive and negative radius. Okay, let me think about this for 1 second. I mean, we don't even care about this at the moment. Oh, let's just go ahead. So 6 times, we want to do this. And does that seem like a thing that would work? Almost does. Maybe? Whoa, my stream quality is astonishingly bad. How'd that happen? Okay, with that many, I don't think we need to be times 2. So I think as these brush dots, I think they want to move forward. I think. That was probably backwards, but maybe it'll be fine. That seems like I did it wrong. Oh no, cool. They are coming forward. Where's the camera? Camera's back there. So they are going the wrong way. Looks pretty cool though. Look at that thing. Okay. It's definitely okay for time to go backwards in your programming. Well, this is an orthographic camera, so that doesn't help. So we want to be perspective, and then we need to figure out where we actually want to be for this to be cool. Probably way closer. That's probably too close. We could do all the math and figure out the frustrum, but I don't want to. Pretty good. I think we get too hot with our hotspots, but I wonder how square it is. Why exactly is that? I guess we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, wait, what's going on here? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like there's eight points. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not enough. It should be 12, right? Unless two of these, the way this works is kind of made up, so. Could end up that two of them end up right on top of each other, something like that. Oh, also, there's an 8 segments. Something doesn't feel quite right. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No, that's correct. Okay. I mean, the 3D version is really maybe where it's at. But well, it's passing the stare test, where I just want to stare at it all day. So that's good. That's always good. I don't know if it's always good, but this is one of the highest forms of praise I can give my own work, is if I can stare at it for a while. Let's play with more post-processing while staring. What are we doing over here? I was trying to think of how can we kill the frame rate even more. Obviously, we always want chromatic aberration for no reason. I just have a hard time resisting it. It does kind of help with a sense of speed. Motion blur never works ever. I don't. Is it me? Is it working? I truly can't tell. Okay. Film grain for no reason, of course. Vignette. Or to see what the vignette is doing, actually. Okay, would it be better if this whole thing rotated? And if so, would it be better if the whole thing rotated as like a unit? Or if it rotated as it emitted? That would make it lose the symmetry as it animated. So I think we just want to do this. One of these millions of signatures is the one we want. We want like an angle in it. I don't know. Did I do that right? Hard to say. That's very fast. Rotation, speed. Sure. Something like that. It's all stuff I should probably actually be figuring out how to do in the visual effects graph. Like if I really wanted to do this in real life. Which could be just update a big position map. It's kind of pretty. I'm going to say we want to slow it down more. Maybe it's just because a slower song came on. I'm not crazy about how it gets stuck, but sometimes it's cool how it gets stuck because then when it kind of extrudes out, it looks pretty nice. Maybe we want those numbers to not be the same. I said that before, but they were still this like moving at the same rate. So this at least helps that not happen. Just for kicks, just for... This is too much. I'll do it anyway. I predict it's too much. Ivar, how's it going? Oh my gosh, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I'm just kind of all over the place, still doing lots of experiments. How have you been? I mean, some of the experiments look kind of cool, but you know. This today started as kind of a polar coordinate Etch-A-Sketch, and then just to stare at it for a while, I connected it to Perlin Noise. It's pretty nice to just stare at. I think. So we could just make a, maybe do one more thing and then we're done with this. If we just do a unlit shader graph, and throw it on here. And then that unlit shader graph is going to want a texture and a sampler. Ivar, first, am I saying your name correctly? Ivar. Second, I can't remember if you told me what you do. Are you a student? That's exposed. Grab this, grab that. Okay. Hopefully we're back to where we just were a second ago. Perfect. Nailed it. That is, it's actually kind of cool, accidentally. It's not good, but it's, wow, gosh. It's like almost accidentally good. It's kind of killing me. Whoa. I don't know how to think about this. It's upsetting me a little bit, but I also kind of like it. Okay, it's got to stop. This has to stop. Oh yeah, I remember. I'm sorry. Of course. You're a C# dev, but now you're going to quit that and you're going to become a game developer. It's going to be amazing. You're going to make games that will change the world. Everyone will love them. They'll be so sincere and heartfelt. I can't wait till your first game comes out. Additive. This. Okay, we're back to this now. So I just want to add some Z, like a simple Z color. So what we want to do is do a gradient. Let's make it go like white or like golden to green to start with. And we want to sample a gradient. But we want the time to, let's just do like world position. And the Z. I don't know if I did that correctly. Well, it definitely helps if you use it. So we want to multiply this. I want good games. I want to play good games. We're very golden. So where did we go wrong? Should be the Z parameter, right? We are just extraordinarily golden over here. Is it not actually traveling enough to change? I think it would, though. Like more than a unit. This feels more like there's a problem in my logic. No, we would want the world position. The absolute world position? I mean, like, even looking at this, that's kind of what we want, right? Is it because I'm going negative? Okay, let's try this. Remap. We want to remap from 0 to -1 to be from 0 to 1. No, we want to remap from -1 to 0. What? What am I doing? Where are we in space? Okay, let's just add a cube for a second. So a cube at world space 0 would be back here. So we would expect that to be the starting point. And then by the time we get out here, we're at -2. So we want to say, take 0 to -2 and turn that to 0 to 1. To -1. What's wrong with my logic? Come back, cube. Oh my gosh. Everything is showing so much. Okay. This is just a study for today. So this isn't really, this was just me experimenting with some things. As for the looking glass, I've kind of decided that the looking glass is going to be a separate thing and is not going to be part of the bigger thing. I'm a little, okay, just to be totally honest with you, I'm a little all over the place. And unfortunately, because of the health problems I'm having, I'm going to have to go back to the Northwest soon and kind of put the residency on pause. So like, I'm just trying to move things forward, but honestly, I feel like I've mostly been moving sideways. But an idea I have right now is that the looking glass and leap motion will be part of a smaller thing, and then there'll be a bigger thing that is based on a radial creation activity. And I still honestly don't know what that is. It still could be like the creatures, it could be like a radial drawing thing, it could be a radial photograph, like computer vision based thing. I think the state of the world and the state of this country and the state of my health had made it a little difficult to focus on things, if I'm being totally open. So I'm navigating through it. The museum is incredibly understanding and kind, so that's all great. But and I do have some things I need to finish before I leave here, so it is likely that the residency project is going to be kind of paused for a while, which is okay because the museum is closed and will be for some time. But it doesn't feel great. I would like to be making better progress. Okay, the Z goes from -1 to like -2 is where the camera is. So how come if I map... Wait, say that again? What did I just say? It goes from... zero, right? Goes from... Yeah, it starts at 0 to -1. And then I want that to go Just trying to get a fall off here that makes sense. Like this kind of looks like it makes sense, right? Although it seems like it really breaks down. Something like that. The numbers don't make sense to me, but visibly this kind of makes some sense. A little bit at least. Yeah, I don't know. I really should be beyond just making studies at this point, but sometimes you just gotta try to put one foot in front of the other. This gets real intense. Probably because of this. Or this. Or this. Or all of the above. It's crazy that the color makes such a difference. I mean, just as far as the bloominess. Am I getting HDR? Maybe that's what's happening, as I'm like pushing something beyond. These are HDR, but their intensity is 1. It's like, is it a little too glowy even for me? Okay, what if instead of this? Well, no, we still need some of that, huh? Oh, I see. I could have taken what was there and just... I don't know if I like that, but it's a thing we could do. Okay, let's try this again. What if we ran this through hue, this, and this went to this. And this got a time, and it got a multiply. Wow. Okay. Not really what I was going for, but hey. Okay. Wait. Okay. Don't have a seizure, please. I appreciate that. I do have time. It's just, yeah, you're right. Just kind of frustrated with my progress, you know? but also trying to cut myself some slack a little bit since the world is in a pretty crazy state. Still feels so I mean, because it's kind of out of control even without the bloom. Part of it is a chromatic aberration for sure. That separation is really making it pretty nuts, but so one thing we could do to mitigate that is shrink these a bit. Oh, that might be but I kind of like them a little bigger. How much is this? Is actually HDR-ness. Quite a lot, actually. Maybe we don't want HDR. Maybe we just want to glow it up a little bit, but not blow it out so much. Maybe the 12 was a lot. This thing's all right though. It's pretty to look at. There's something to. Whoa! Uh-oh. What did I do? HDR came back a bit. That's why I want to do this with the camera. Just have it like. Guess you could do something where you rotated. What would be the easy way to do that? Back and forth is pretty easy. Guess you could just move the camera up and down and left and right and always call a look at after. That might be the easiest way. You could also just rotate the dude back and forth in addition to... So it could... Here. Is that more annoying or less annoying? No, it's just so annoying. Like, rotation. It's the whole thing. Equals rotation. And then every frame we would say... Let's do the thing. No. Rotation at z plus equals time to delta time times rotation speed. And then simultaneously equals what? Remap the cosine of time.time. And take it from -1 to 1 to -15 degrees by 15 degrees. Something like that. And then we essentially do the exact same thing for y, with the sine of time. And maybe that would make a little spinny circle? Unless I get in some like horrible gimbal lock or something. The big problem with this is you never get to see it half, you know, straight on. Or maybe if one of those axes is going slower, you would sometimes. Almost like a weird jellyfish or something. Sea anemone. Another thing you could do actually is do a super formula shape and pick just sets of like fixed angles and different. Well, the radii could come from the super formula actually. Almost just like a weird extruding thing. I think it's how people make jellyfish and stuff like that a lot. I think I like it better just flat. Personally. Yeah, like wavy tentacle sort of things for sure. They're sentinel-esque. It definitely looks like that when I had the alpha off. I have that feeling, one of my least favorite feelings when I'm making something is working on something and feeling like it looked better an hour ago. And I kind of think this looked better an hour ago. Like, I kind of think I made it worse. I do. I use Git for version control, but I tend to not. When I'm just doing like tweaky look development stuff, I don't typically check things in. Maybe I should. But when I'm just like tuning things, my general hope is that I'm going to make them better instead of worse. But maybe you're right. Maybe once an hour I should check in. Always be committing? Is that ABC? Definitely a habit I have when I'm like actually doing work, but not so much when I'm just doing like visual effects and look development, but maybe I should. I mean, in this case, all I've done for the last whatever number of minutes was mess with that shader. So by removing the shader, I fixed the problem, sort of. Maybe something I don't like about it is... Wait, what happened to my gradient? Is that everything's too saturated? It's definitely very stareable. What if I just did this, made two? Well, it didn't actually work. I made this, made two of them, like zoomed one forward a little bit. Whoa. I was wrong. What? What have I done? Okay, wait. You get out of here. Clicking all the wrong things. Okay, I took this and I duplicated this. And then I chose to move it way closer. Or maybe further away. Oh, it doesn't care because I'd need to... I think that's what I want to do. Yeah, then I can have two of them. And a third one even. And another one. Okay. So we have one, like one at 0, one at 1, one at -1, one at -2. It's really making my computer suffer. That's pretty good. Kind of want one more way in the back. And by one more, I mean two more way in the back. -3, -4. These aren't particles, these are game objects. This is a bit much, probably, but oh well. Still got 50 frames a second. So we could make them not be doing the same thing, but I think it's actually better if they do the same thing. Oh, those are all, okay, half of these I can't even see. These should be 2, 3, and 4. I was going the wrong way. Wow. It's pretty good. We need to like go to 8, count by, yeah, that's what we need to do. Okay, we got this. We got this. We got to figure it out now. This is, this one probably is irrelevant, actually. I think that one's not relevant. So these become like -2. No, they become the main one, and then 2, 4, 6, and 8. I was saying certain numbers, and then different numbers were coming out of my fingers, and that wasn't good. That was weird. I really do want the one that's -2. I feel like we wouldn't be able to see that one very well. Except for when it comes crushing in. I think we're maybe good here. I mean, I definitely have a temptation to do this. That's definitely a temptation I have. But is it better? I don't think so. Okay, I know. I've got I have a plan now. This one will be -1.5. We'll split the difference. This will be 1.5. This will be 3. 4.5. 6. When in doubt, just split the difference. Maybe. Almost good. Almost. The camera had a narrower field of view. Split the difference. The camera had a wider field of view. What if the camera field of view animated very slowly over time? Clobber. Oh, what's Faber gonna do? A very slow sine wave. It's gonna just take the field of view from 30 to... Let's have this remap for the 1000th time. Should I just petition Unity? I can like break into Unity headquarters and just add a remap. It's outrageous that they don't have it. They don't, right? Wait, is there? Is there a math remap? No, I don't think there is. Wishful thinking. Okay, so what happens here is we will have field of view equals remap a value from -1. Oh, you know, value. From -1 to 1 and change that from 30 to 120. And value is going to be the sine of real slow, like 10 seconds. That's probably still too fast, but let's see. I'm ready. I think I'm ready for this one to be finished out of my life. Okay, we got real wide, so wide. Maybe too wide. It's pretty cool. When it gets way in there. I'm going to say 120 was too much. Say it goes to 90. But also, I do want to just see what happens if we go to like 15. I'm going to turn off the Faber. Let's go down to 20 and up to 100. Okay, not to 10, 100. Yes, great. Whoa, it's really cool right in here. Like time slows down. Okay, let's capture. You know, there's a quote. It's one of those art quotes, and art quotes are always misattributed. I've heard this one. To Da Vinci, but who knows? Let's see if I can find it before I repeat it and attribute it to the wrong person. But I don't know. Maybe Da Vinci said it. I don't really like Leonardo da Vinci, so part of me wants him to not have said it. But the quote is this: "Art is never finished, only abandoned." And I think that's really true. And more often than not, the indicators of completion are fully external. Like, you're out of time or out of money or whatever. Like there's some, and actually I prefer that because of the fact that it could just go on forever. So I really like it when there are outside constraints that can help. So that's certainly true at a big scale. And at this, especially long-term projects, if you think of developing a game, obviously no game that's released today is ever done. And you always know that there's more things that people working on it would want to do if there was more time and money. As far as little studies, I think with something like this, where it's just an experiment and it's just a study, it's kind of trying to walk this line of diminishing returns where, I've put almost 3 hours into this, and I'm not sure that another 3 hours would really take it anywhere special for what I want to do with it, which is just make a little study and have a little video. Although, a couple weeks ago, I had an 8.5-hour stream because I was convinced that I could take something further, even though I'm not sure that I did in the end. So, it helps when there's outside constraints. And my outside constraint is I try to keep these streams to 1 to 3 hours. So that's one constraint. And then the other one is just a recognition of diminishing returns. But also, this is kind of accomplishing, totally separate from the work of those ideas of time and effort. Just looking at this, it does the job. It's a thing I can stare at for a little while and enjoy. And it helped me, even though it's funny, so many of these studies I've been doing look almost identical. They exist for different reasons, and they're helping me kind of validate different approaches and experiments. So from that perspective, I was done with this within half an hour, because it was really just this polar coordinate drawing thing. I hope that answered your question. I know it wasn't very clear. Really, the Da Vinci quote is the real answer. Okay, so we're gonna take this and we're gonna get our friend the recorder window, and we're gonna wonder, what study are we actually on? I don't know the answer. Looks like this next study should be 14. So let's just record a minute of this. And go from there. It's funny because I don't think something I think a lot about with video game development in particular. And I've not worked on huge AAA games with huge studios. I've worked on relatively small projects with small studios. Oh no, did the bitrate die? Did my stream die? Oh no. That looks like a problem. Well, we haven't had one of these in a minute. So while this captures, I'm going to take a short break and get a drink of water and restart the router, and hopefully we make it back soon. I'll be back in a minute. I'll be back. I don't know if the stream will be back. I'm back. The internet's not back. The music's not back. The stream's not back. But I'm back. Hello there. So the capture happened. I think. So let's open up Premiere. And then we have to wait for the internet to come back so we can get some cool jams. It's kind of not cool when the internet is just broken. Kind of a sad story. Okay, we have a project, and we have a study number 14, and a Mambo number 5, and a import, and a recordings 14. Delete the first one, or the last one. So it's one too many frames because it's 1800 frames, but the count starts at 0. So it ends up being 1 second and 1 frame, which nobody wants that. Sequence. Study 014. Drag this over here. Nope. First. Change this to 30. Yeah, I didn't do that on the first one. I don't understand why. Why? I still want 29976, whatever, NTSC frame rate. We're beyond that, right? As a society, as a people, we don't need that anymore. I don't really like the points where we see the ends of the stream when we're zoomed out, but I can live with it. Seems okay. Seems like it gets real slow. Here. Is it too slow here? Okay. Music hasn't magically returned. Not connected. The router is just sitting there like a bump on a log. What do I do? I'll probably panic. Like, listen on my phone. Why does it take so long for cable modems to reinitialize? Maybe it's like out in the building this time because it's not even blinking. It's not even blinking. Well, heck. How are you today? We can't do anything because the only thing that is left is remaining. was to pick some jams. And you can't pick jams without the internet. Okay, there's 2 lights on the router now. So we've doubled our number of lights. That's great. I'm busy sending really weird texts, so I'm spending my time. Mm-hmm. There's hundreds of lights blinking on the router now, maybe thousands. So we don't have an internet connection, but it feels like we'll get one. We can't even, like, since I've been using Edge, we don't even get the dinosaur game. It's kind of lame. We have our internet disconnected. All things considered, though, with Microsoft's typical errors, numbers, and error naming, that's a pretty good error. Internet disconnected. Wait, there is a game. You can start. Oh, I didn't realize this. Okay, let's pick a surfer. Wait, why can't I? Okay. Do I want the electricity? Is this like a version of ski, but it's surfing? Oh my gosh. Oh, good heavens. Okay. I mean, I knew that was going to happen. Okay, this is like ski. So I shouldn't touch anything except for lightning bolts, probably. Oh, no, there's ramps. Okay. Probably not buoys. Probably not whirlpools. I didn't... Oh my... What? Okay, that's like the Yeti. Wow. I didn't know there was this... It's like... Ski 2020. That was a poor... I'm just embarrassed by that. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Oh, you can... Oh, that must mean the internet's back because the music's back. But it doesn't matter because now we're just playing ski. I mean, surf. This is Sea Monster instead of a Yeti. I just want to hit a ramp. Is it easier to use the mouse? I don't think so. Okay, you know what? I need more screen real estate. This is the thing. How could you even get that one? I don't think you could. So some of those waves maybe don't kill you, they just slow you down. A jet ski? Oh no, get somebody else. Okay. Is that electricity help with my speed? Okay, down arrow is key. We gotta be sure to hit the down arrow. Oh! Thought I could make it. I was wrong. Can I pick my speed if I just hit down a bunch? Okay, that didn't work. Okay, I really want to hit a ramp. Twitch has, have we reconnected to Twitch? No, we have 461 seconds, but I don't think I can force that in any way. Okay. I just want, okay. If I just surf at a diagonal at an incredible speed. Can I slow down? Oh, I can. Is that real? Can you do that in real life? I think you can just like kind of slow down while skiing, but I'm not sure you can just stop on a dime while. I just want to ramp, man. Oh, shoot. Oh, there were ramps right there. Okay, forget it. Oh, whatever. I'm gonna play until we are streaming again. That's a fair thing, right? I should have jumped that ramp. It was right there. I could have jumped it, but I kind of panicked. Oh, come on. Okay, well, I jumped a ramp. Did I lose him? Wow. It's going to be a world record. Oh, the whirlpool and it threw me off. Oh, no. A heart. Wow. It's the best game I've ever played. I just jumped over her. Are we back? Are we connected again? No, we're not even close. Believe these jumps? This sick air that I'm getting? Is that a mermaid? Got all my hearts back. Where, I mean, am I like way out in the ocean? I feel like there's some like conceptual liberties taken here that were not taken in the original ski game. I think I just saw the Yeti from the original game in an inner tube, which is cool. I'm not sure how the speed works. Sometimes it seems like tapping down speeds me up, and sometimes it does not seem like that at all. Okay, the internet's... I looked away. Pretty incredible tricks I'm pull in there. Do you think anything good ever happens, or like there's a big thing happen? Oh, he ate my surfboard. I thought I was just devoured. Okay. Well, you know, we still have. No, okay. Let's get back to this. YouTube. We want the audio library music. We want to pause pretzel. Okay. No, where's the... I don't want the videos. I want the... Why can I never find this? Free music audio library. This? No. YouTube, you know what I want. This thing. Okay. So we need no attribution, and we want dance and electronic always. And we want a mood that is Sad. A sad one today. Back home. No, toward us. Coming into this one, Gunnar Olsen, Floodgates. Let's do it. Okay, so we want downloads, Floodgates, desktop. My buddy Gunnar Olsen. Get some Floodgates over here, over here, over here. So let's just assume we want to end where the song ends. That's not always true. In fact, it maybe isn't true. Still 76 seconds. Okay, I need to watch this again. Full screen. Or fuller screen. It's so slow when it gets this close that it feels almost stalled. Maybe that's too close, actually. It's kind of cool in there, but it's maybe too close. Okay, let's just render one more time, and let's only go from... you know, that one place, the other place. Oh my gosh, we actually back? Oh my gosh, I'm back. Everybody's gone, of course. Of course. So, how's it going? Twitch? You missed out on everything. It was really cool. Let's go 30 to 90. And do the thing. Let's do the thing. The thing which is general recorder window. 14. And go. Sometimes people text weird things to me. I mean, often people text weird things to me, but sometimes they text weird things to me because they're asking if it's a good phrase for something, or like, you know, a good title for something, or a good name for something. But don't preface that that's what they're doing. So it's just like, here's some arbitrary words, and they don't understand why. Mm-hmm. Are we just too close again? I don't know. That looks pretty good, actually. Just feels like time slows down when you get really in there. Okay, have we done it? Let's try. I accidentally paused. Okay. Very abrupt start. This one feels better. I'm going to say that it's okay. Could be better, but I think it's fine. I think it's just fine. So let us export this media. Yep. Let us up the bitrate a little. And that will probably kill the bitrate on the stream. Actually, not so much. Seems okay. False alarm, everyone. Okay, I think they went it right. So I don't know. I don't know what we really learned today. We learned about the Radial Etch-A-Sketch is kind of fun. Like, it's kind of a fun thing. Still not quite there, you know? Just something out of my reach at the moment. Can I power through it? Can I battle it? I don't know. Could you just go away, label? So here's the thing, is I always have to go through and pick out a good thumbnail on when I upload these videos to YouTube. It's kind of a hassle. So what if I just hold really still in a fun way and then like just pose and just cheat it? It's trying to act natural. Acting natural here. It's not working, is it? Okay, somewhere in the here. I don't know really what I want there. It's such a YouTube thing to be like make a really exaggerated face and then you like cut yourself out and add a white stripe. That's like the way to make YouTube videos. Or you have like a really quizzical face, like you're holding an object and you're like can you use an iPhone to cook spaghetti? It's very, very YouTube. I'm not good at YouTube or Twitch or the internet in the way it exists these days, but I do what I can. And no, you can't use your iPhone to cook spaghetti, probably. I mean, you use it to set a timer, I think. Okay, we made a little something today. A little study, a little satisfying study. Yeah, look at that. Look at that frame. That's a pretty good frame. Just look at that. Oh, shucks. I don't know. I don't think I'm very good at Twitch. I really don't. I think if I was good at Twitch, I would have more viewers, probably. What do I need? Do I need a green screen? Do I need more graphics on the screen also? Okay, here's maybe the real thing. Do I need to prepare for streaming instead of just sitting down and stumbling through whatever I'm working on? Maybe. Maybe that's the real secret. I gotta just put some of these things in VR and just stare at them in VR, maybe. Maybe that would cure what ails me. I know, Ivar. Maybe all of those things. You know what when I think about the future a little bit, I definitely have to make some changes in my life. It might have to be a little more stationary than I have been in the past, but what if I had just a little shop / studio, and my shop had maybe a laser cutter and a 3D printer and a CNC router, and then I just made stuff all day. And then sometimes there was a camera on. I think it sounds all right. It'd be real expensive to do all of those things. I'd probably need a way to make money. You know, I probably couldn't justify, like, how much does all that stuff cost? Many grand? Many of grands? Couple thousand. You can do under 1,000 for an okay 3D printer. Got to be at least some thousands, if not tens of thousands, for a semi-decent laser cutter. And then you also have to have ventilation for that. And CNC router also probably in the teens of thousands. So let's just call that like a $50,000 project. Also, I need a place to put it. And yeah, anyway, well, something to think about. Or I just become a professor somewhere and have access to the school equipment. Was that the real secret here? Is the secret is to not have my own shop, but have a school shop, but then students will use it and they'll break everything. I don't know. Ivar, things are tough. Things are tough all over. Thank you very much for hanging out, though. Thank you, Draclin, for stopping by. I don't know where Life Is Yours is, grounded, wherever it is. Have a lovely day. I won't be streaming tomorrow, but I will be back on Wednesday, and we will see where things go from there. Have a lovely day. Take care of yourself.